Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Is that what I think it is? I think it is. A Denver institution. One sec. A Denver institution has been serving Rocky Mountain oysters for 125 years. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that is a testicular organ of some animal, maybe a bison or a cow or a duck. Not a duck.
This is the Buckhorn Exchange, the oldest restaurant in Denver, Colorado. And unfortunately for me, their most popular dish, Rocky Mountain Oysters, aka fried bull testicles. To the best of my knowledge, I've never eaten testicles. I mean, you know.
Is the semen?
Not that I'm aware of. I came here to eat testicles, and testicles I shall eat. A historic landmark in the city of Denver, the Buckhorn Exchange has been selling Rocky Mountain oysters since 1893. That's a lot of balls.
They're good. They're good. You got to try it. If you're here, you got to try it. I've seen it on TV for so long, and it's just like, oh, it's been here for 100 years. Figure I'm in Colorado. Might as well just go and see it and taste it.
That Wild Bill?
How bad could it be? They've been doing it for like 140 years.
Why do I feel like Colorado is like a mix between California, Texas, and Montana? It's got like some liberal people, some conservative people, like super liberal, super conservative, and that kind of Montana ranch type of thing.
Let's do this.
The Buckhorn Exchange is Denver's oldest restaurant, opened in 1893 by this man, Henry H. Zietz, also known as Shorty. Shorty was a skilled marksman and toured as a sharpshooter in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show.
Hold on, sorry, I'm pausing a lot, but I have a feeling how these heads were retrieved, and it seems like I know that it's like not very uncommon for when during the mating season with not just deer or like any animal that has like a big rack of antlers on it. It's sometimes common for the antlers to get tangled or like locked with the other deer stag's antlers, and then they'll die because though they're both gonna end up dying because obviously you can't eat and they're not gonna be that cooperative. And then once one dies, then you just have a corpse hanging off of you, and then you're gonna die. And I'm a feeling they just came across those and got the antlers that way, and they're still like that.
Shorty was a skilled marksman and toured as a sharpshooter in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show along with Sitting Bull. Years later, the Buckhorn Exchange would be frequently visited by both Buffalo Bill and Sitting Bull. The Buckhorn Exchange is directly across the street from the railroad. Shorty would allow railroaders to exchange their paychecks for U.S. currency and give each man a token for a free sandwich and a beer. While that sounds generous, Shorty knew no railroader would stop after one beer and would end up spending most of the money they had just exchanged.
Smart.
In 1905, while campaigning for president, Teddy Roosevelt parked his train across the street from the Buckhorn Exchange, stopped in for dinner, and became friendly with Shorty.
And Teddy convinced him to take him on hunts up in the Rockies, and they became friends. And so over the years, Teddy would contact the owner. When Teddy went on his famous African safari, he contacted the owner to go along as one of his guides in Africa. So we have many mounts that are here in the building that are from that hunt.
Whoa.
Rocky Mountain oysters are bull testicles. They were.
Whenever I see a bison head, I always think of was it East Side Fridays, East Side Mario's? No. There was this restaurant that I remember going to when I was a kid. It's something else now. It's no longer a thing. The building I think is there, but it's renovated and it's a whole different restaurant. But there was this talking tree in the lobby of the restaurant, and then you'd sit down, and every like 5 or 10 minutes, this big bullhead, obviously mechanical or something, would like start talking. I thought that was cool. A rainforest cafe type deal.
Rocky Mountain oysters are bull testicles.
Good.
They were the meat cowboys would eat at the end of a cattle drive. Only a certain amount of bulls were used as breeding stock, and the others were kept alive and fattened up for food. So they took off the testicles to control the population, and they also figured, hey, fresh meat.
And that was kind of the
Guys, so that's what a eunuch is, right? Like in history, a eunuch is like you chopped off their scrotum and then their testicles. Because obviously you can't cut off the franken beans, you can't cut off the frank. You're gonna, how do you pee? So the only purpose of the testiculars is for reproduction, but like, what is the ball actually made out of?
delicacy at the end of the cattle drive.
Well, you know, amazingly enough, we sell about 500 pounds a week of this stuff.
You sell 500 pounds of testicles a week.
Don't quote me, but it's between 3 and 500 pounds. I should know, I do the ordering.
So almost a quarter of ton of testicles. Okay, there's a demand for testicles in Colorado.
Testicles festivals.
You've yet to cut into one that was, how can I say,
Full?
juicy, yeah.
No.
First, the membrane that covers the testicle is peeled off.
Why do I feel that?
I know.
Then the testicle is cut into thin slices.
Looks like a potato.
All right, so next step is...
So what is that? Like, what is that? Is it all fat? Is it reproductive juices?
We'll go in the kitchen.
So these are the freshest testicles you can get in Colorado.
In town, that's right.
There you go.
The slices are tossed into flour and deep fried. Once they're nice and crispy, they're plated with cocktail and horseradish sauce and ready to serve.
There you go, plate full of balls.
Plate full of balls.
I think the fact that
Once they're nice and crispy, they're plated with cocktail and horseradish sauce and ready to serve.
There you go, plate full of balls.
Interesting. Cocktail sauce.
I think the fact that we haven't changed, when everything around us has changed, is very much why we've stayed around.
Oh, that looks amazing. I love that.
And we try very hard to keep the menu as old world as possible. So the meals you eat here are very similar to what you would have eaten, back in the day or at the end of a long trail ride.
You aren't.
It's like if you ever go to those, like an Applebee's, like what are those restaurants? Like, there's fast food, and then there's like the other, like there's fast food restaurants, okay, which is like your Taco Bell, your McDonald's, your Burger King, your Wendy's, your like all those, right? And then there's the step above that, which I think is like your Chipotle, your Five Guys, your In-N-Out Burger, your Panera Bread, right? And then I think a step above that would be like your Chili's, your Applebee's, your Fridays. And then it goes on to like regular restaurants. But what was my point? Oh yeah, they always, in those restaurants like the Chili's, Fridays, Applebee's, they always have like all this night, like this. They have good decoration. I'm sure it's not very original or anything, but it seems like I just spent way too much time explaining something simple. It's like the TGI Fridays, Applebee's, Chili's model, but with like real stuff, and I like that.
Possible. So the meals you eat here are very similar to what you would have eaten, back in the day or at the end of a long trail ride.
You aren't gonna find Old West too often, even in Denver. It's. You were talking about it early tonight. It's disappearing, but they have kept it alive.
The majority of our mounts are pre-World War I. They were all taken during a period of time when they were taken for food. They weren't taken for trophies. That golden eagle was given to the original owner by Sitting Bull. We have a Cape buffalo that was shot on the hunt with...
Guys, I don't know why I'm thinking of this. I'm a psycho. But could you technically do the same thing to a human? That sounds so weird. All right, chill. Okay, but it popped into my head. Like, never forget it.
Roosevelt.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
I can just smell the testicles coming.
Ugh, salty and sweaty.
Thank you very much. Look at
Cocktail
that.
sauce and a horseradish peppercorn sauce.
Okay. And what do we got here?
I have a Kolsch beer that pairs well with Rocky Mountain oysters.
I mean, these are so popular they invented a beer that pairs with them, so that's a good sign. These are very good. These are very good.
You like them?
Oh, I love them.
Good.
I'm pleasantly surprised by this. The texture is the hardest thing to get past, I think.
Don't lie, please. One thing I love about the Food Insider UK duo, the blonde girl and then the brown-haired guy with the black glasses, is I think they're pretty good, especially the guy with the black glasses, at not letting the fact that you are in the store and have people you could possibly insult. I think as a reviewer or anything like this, you have to throw that out the window, okay? Forget it. And just tell me your honest opinion. And I hope he's doing that.
It doesn't taste like tangy or, let's be honest, it doesn't taste salty. There's a bit of a... It surprisingly is firm. Firmer than I thought testicles would be. I guess I never thought about it. That was a juicy one.
It's iconic. I mean, it definitely has a sort of own brand for itself, and it's something that folks talk about from the States a ways, so definitely want to make the trip out here and see it.
It is a bit of a novelty. We get a lot of folks that chuckle and come in and think of them as novelty, but I would say the majority of the people...
I know you can't really tell what your own voice sounded like, but that sounded like how I thought I sound.
About it. That was a juicy one.
It's iconic. I mean, it definitely has a sort of own...
Does that sound like me, or am I imagining things? Does that sound like my voice? You guys would know better than me.
brand for itself, and it's something that folks talk about from the States a ways, so I mean, it definitely has a sort of own brand for itself, and it's something that folks talk about from the States a ways, so definitely
Maybe
want to
not.
make the trip out here and see it.
It is a bit of a novelty. We get a lot of folks that chuckle and come in and think of them as novelty, but I would say the majority of the people leave and go, they're actually pretty darn tasty.
They have other non-testicle meats on the menu, like she had mentioned, elk, alligator, I think. Yeah, quail, probably chicken.
Always wondered how reptile tastes.
That'd be weird if they didn't have chicken. It's interesting that this is a staple on the menu that has been for so long. I think that's really cool. You feel like almost you're eating like a part of like frontier history when you're having this. To eat testicles is to eat history, American history.
Ah! Those are some big balls. So are those the veins? Cool. Cool video. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I'd like to try them. Never had tasted balls. See you guys next time. Hope you're doing well. If not, chin up. Emotions are fickle, my friend. You'll be good soon. Don't worry. Bye, guys.